فمن يجير الكافرين من عذاب أليم قل هو الرحمن آمنا به وعليه توكلنا فستعلمون من هو في ضلال مبين قل أرأيتم إن أصبح ماؤكم غورا فمن يأتيكم بماء معين.
Hello everyone, you're through to Sister Talks, and today we're talking about goal setting for the future. You've tuned into Ramadan Radio Wolves 87.9 FM, and just so that we can make sure that this session is this program is as interactive as possible, again we'll be telling you the telephone studio number, which is 01902 972 150. And the WhatsApp text is 07440 420 432. We encourage you to text in, WhatsApp, even call, just so that Chantel and I can have a really engaging conversation with you today. So we're talking about goal setting. I think last week we touched upon all about how powerful mentoring is and how you can use an accountability partner for mentoring. And today we kind of follow on that same kind of theme. But what we want you to do is we want you to kind of, if you've got any pens and papers, then grab a pen and paper, get some notes, because we're going to be telling you about some really powerful stuff today, aren't we, Chantel?
Yeah, some key gems that we'll be dropping today. So feel free to take notes and get into contact with us.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what is goal setting?
Okay, so it's quite a broad subject, isn't it, goal setting?
It is.
And there's lots of theories out there about goal setting and what is it, what isn't it, and how to do it. So the way that we're going to talk about it today isn't the be-all and end-all. You can obviously go away and research and find out more about it as well. But essentially, to get started, goal setting involves, the development of an idea. It's something that you seek to achieve, and then putting in the steps to actually make that come to fruition, isn't it? All about the process from getting from A to B. So you kind of start with the end in mind, something you want to achieve, something that you want to do, accomplish, and then you work backwards essentially to ensure that all those steps are being met.
And we're going to go through those steps?
We certainly are.
Brilliant. Okay, so it's purposeful and it's the explicit process. So a goal without a wish, a goal without a plan is just a wish. Right. I wonder if any of you have heard that phrase before. I'll repeat it again. A goal without a plan is just a wish. So what Chantel's talking about is about making that process so clear, so structured, that it is actually a solid plan, because without it, then it's just going to be wishful thinking. And today we want you to be able to put, those things that you're saying that you wish about and you dream about, that actually you've got the structure so that you can actually make it feel like it's going to be realistic.
Definitely. It needs to be tangible,
It does, doesn't it? So, I don't know, Chantel, why is goal setting so important to you? How's it impacted upon you?
I think just kind of following on, isn't it? It's about getting things done in a structured, strategic way, and it allows for everything that I want to achieve to get done. Sometimes you say you want to do this or that, and you haven't really made the steps or the commitment to do it. So before you know it, 6 months have gone and you haven't actually done the things that you wanted to do. So by goal setting, it allows that all the ideas and things that I want to achieve in my life, my family, my career, my health, to actually, form part of a structured plan, and it would actually allow those things to happen. So it's having the goal, putting in the steps, breaking those down, and making sure that I commit to.
I suppose it really just gives that focus, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
It gives that focus. And when the goal just seems so massive,
yes,
being able to break it down into those little segments,
yeah,
I bet it makes it more achievable.
It does, because if you think of something you want to achieve, and it doesn't have to be materialistic items, it can be, maybe buying a new home, or getting your child, a tutor to pass their exams, something like that. There's lots of steps that need to be taken to
even weight loss.
Definitely,
yes. Weight loss has got like lots of those different segments in there. It could, and when we talk about breaking it down, if you're thinking about the fact that you might want to lose weight, even the facts of just like telephoning a gym or going on the internet to search for a gym, that would be one of those steps. And I know it just seems so obvious, but the whole goal setting is about making a note of those obvious steps,
Yeah.
because actually, you know, they can get missed, and
Yeah.
you know, you do need to actually make sure that they're all planned for, really.
That's right, definitely.
So I don't know, SMART goals. Have you?
Yeah, so SMART goals, is that the acronym that's
Yeah,
used, isn't it?
yeah. And I don't know if any of you have heard of SMART. There's lots of, you know, you go on the internet, there's lots of different acronyms for setting like real solid proper goals. But SMART goals is probably one of the most popular
I'd say so.
ones that are out there, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that SMART, it is an acronym, and you know, I know we try and avoid acronyms as much as we can, but hey, we can't live without them, can we?
Yes, it works.
So SMART means, the S means that it's smart.
Yeah.
The M, specific, sorry.
Yeah.
The M means that it's measurable. A, achievable.
Yeah.
R,
Realistic.
or relevant.
Or relevant. And then T would be timely, time bound. Yeah.
Brilliant. So let's just take the listeners through it, because I think understanding what the SMART acronym means is essentially the actual structure for goal setting, isn't it?
It is.
So I think it's quite crucial that we kind of take the listeners through it. So specific then. So your goal should be so sufficiently clear, with such detail, that even a 6-year-old could tell you whether you've achieved it or not. So my daughter is supposed to be able, I'm supposed to say something and I'm supposed to outline my goal, and my daughter's supposed to be able to tell me at the end of it, yes, you've achieved it, mommy, or no, you haven't, because that's how clear it is and how specific it is. And last week we talked about vision, you know, like when you vision something. Actually, I think it might have been the week before, but we have spoken about visualization and feeling your goal. And I think when you've put the detail that you need into that goal to make it so specific, it is so tangible.
It really
you can
is.
feel it, you can smell it,
Definitely.
you can see it.
Yeah.
So that is how specific your goal should be. So if we think about, you know, it being specific, you might say that you want a car, for instance.
Yep.
So it's not enough for you to say, oh, you know, I don't know, I want an Audi.
Right. What would I need to do?
So what you would need to do, Shan, is you'd need to be saying what colour that Audi is.
Yep.
You know, what size wheels it's got.
Yep.
What engine size is it?
Okay.
You know, is it the winter pack that you want on there? You know, you've got to make it
All
just
the details.
yeah, you've got to make it all the details. It's got a sunroof, this, that and the other. It's got to be so specific.
The
Colour, everything,
Yeah, okay.
so that you actually know what it is that you're looking for. It's just not enough, because if you just said, oh, I just want an Audi, well, okay then.
Yeah.
Where you going with
It's
that?
too broad, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
So the M, measurable.
Yeah, so measurable, it needs to be something that can be measured. And by that, we mean, you know, how will you know once it's been done, essentially? And it seems quite obvious, but if you can't measure the success of it, then it's you know, it hasn't quite worked, has it really, in that sense? And also as well, for you to be able to measure it, it leads to improvement. So, you know, it's like if you do a test, any kind of test, once you know what score you've got or your progress, you can then, okay, I got 6 out of 10, I need to go back and do some work.
Yeah.
So it just definitely needs to be measurable and actually have some weighting so you can review that
So
process.
essentially, you're just tracking out, using
Yeah.
it for you to be able to track your process, isn't it?
Definitely.
And you know, we've heard so many times, when you know, like the young girls that we work with, and they have like a goal, and there's no way, it's just so broad, there's just no way that they can like measure how they're getting on with it. So we do try and put in something that makes it measurable. So be specific, put in a few numbers in there. You know, if it's money that you want to get to, well, is it £100 that you want to achieve? No, you can't just say you want lots of money. Well, actually, I want £1,000.
That's
like
a popular one with the girls,
it is,
isn't
isn't
it?
it? We want to have lots of money.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we want to be rich. Well, what's rich?
Yeah, or we want a job. What job? How many hours? You know, you're 14, 15, part-time. So it definitely needs to have some kind of measure in there so they know once you've got to that place.
Definitely. Okay, so in terms of the A, we said that was making it attainable.
Yeah, so what would that look like then?
So attainable is you're considering here, like, you know, how you achieve that goal.
Okay.
So balanced against other factors. Is it attainable for me?
Yeah.
So even attainable for me at that moment.
That's right.
So, for example, I might have, stresses with, I don't know, like lots of other studying. I might have a job going on, or family life's really busy.
Yep.
So the goal that I've set, is it attainable for me right now?
Right now. And also, and also as well, sometimes you see the acronym with the A for either attainable or achievable.
Yeah.
Kind of one, goes hand in hand. But also at this point, you could also think about, has anyone done it before you? That's a good way to, attain whether it's achievable. Have others done this thing? If it's buying a new home, if it's accessing a particular, item or what have you. If it's been done before, it is definitely achievable. It can be done.
Yeah.
That's not to say if it hasn't, that, you can be the first one. But, if it's achievable and others before you have done it, it's definitely hits the A criteria.
It definitely.
Yeah.
And so we said earlier on that this could mean relevant and it could be realistic. Now, there's two school of thoughts here, because actually some people would say is, why should my goal be realistic? Because actually, if my mind can believe it, then I can achieve it.
Yeah.
So why should it be realistic? I can do what I want.
Yeah,
I can
push the
achieve what I want,
boundaries.
and yes, you can. And we wouldn't want you to think that you couldn't. So actually, we're going to forget about it being realistic, because anything's realistic, you can do it. We're going to say that R means relevance.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Now, you have heard Chantel and I talk about your values, what's important to you, and part and parcel of the ethos of Sister to Sister is all about your values and your backgrounds, and how that shouldn't stop you from where you're going, and all those kind of things. So what we stress in the R as being relevant is just ensuring that your goals matter to you.
That's right.
That they align with you and your values.
Yeah. And you're not kind of taking on a goal that's, inherited by somebody else, and kind of peer pressure, something we talk about with our mentees and our girls as well. And we do some background work with them about their values so that their goals are in sync. There's no point having a goal that you're working so hard on, that you don't believe in, that's been imposed upon you. That's, the dream or hope of a family member. It needs to be yours for it to really, come to fruition, really. Yeah.
And I suppose as well, when you're thinking about that, it being like yours, you're more likely to want to achieve it, aren't you?
Definitely.
Because it means something more to you.
Yeah.
And so what's the last one then?
So the last one, the T, is timely or time bound. Okay, we need to have dates. So it's about making sure that when that time's gonna, when that goal's going to be achieved. Now, there's no point in setting the time at the start. So let's say you said, I want to buy a new house, and you say, I want to get this done by next week. Okay. Now, if you've got lots of money and that type of thing, potentially, but even so, it's going to be quite difficult. What you need to do is do the planning first, because by the time you've done the plan, the date will arrive.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So,
because people normally say that when they set the goal, they'll say straight away,
this date.
Exactly.
And it's quite easy to do. So I want to do this by this date, and I want to do, and that's one strategy of doing it. But I think when you do the plan, because like Dionne said earlier, you've got the planning comes with goal setting. By doing the plan, you'll put dates in, and by the time you've got to the end of the plan, that will tell you when it will get done. So that's one school of thought. But if you're plucking dates out of the air with no real tangible way of knowing how you're going to get it, I'm just going to get this by next week. Well, there's the fact that you haven't put the plans in place may mean that goal takes longer to achieve than you'd have hoped. You've kind of putting pressure on yourself without the planning stage, perhaps.
I get that.
So that's one way of looking at it, rather than just saying, I want this by a particular date. Or if you do decide to go down that route, it's making sure that you've got the plan to back up the idea, really.
Okay, then. So what happens then if, because I know this does happen, it's life, that I've set my time that I want to get it done by, and it's just not going to happen. So what should I do? Should I change the goal, or?
No, we'd keep the goal. Okay. Just review it, make sure it still aligns with where you're at in terms of, people grow and develop and change. But just review the goal. If it's still something personal and important to yourself, you keep that goal. You just change the steps that's going to take you to get there.
Okay.
We've all got families, life, job responsibilities. So it's not to say that something isn't going to present itself that's going to take you off course a little bit. that's
That's
fine.
life, isn't it?
It is. It's just making sure that you adjust the plan. And I read something recently that said if you 2 times everything, you put yourself in a better position. So what
does that mean then?
So what this is a book by John Maxwell actually,
Okay.
and what he was saying is part of his success was if he thinks if he's got a meeting to go to and it's going to take an hour, he'll plan in his head that it's going to take 2.
Okay.
If he's going to buy something and he's budgeted for £1,000, he'll budget for £2,000. And it's a principle that he talks about in his book, The 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth.
Okay.
About times it everything by 2 to ensure that you've just got that maximum time frame, and you're kind of giving yourself excess opportunity and availability for whatever it is that you want to set out. So going back to the question about if plans deviate, if you set yourself like seven days to do a particular part of the plan, maybe just increase that to 14, just so you kind of 2 times and everything gives that bit of opportunity,
that little bit of a leeway and flexibility. So, like that. And what book did you say that was in?
That was a book that you got me, actually.
Oh, okay.
So it's by John Maxwell, and
Yeah.
it's called The 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth.
I'm gonna have to get it for myself then.
Yeah, so
when you finish reading it, tell me.
I will.
And then I'm gonna get it for myself.
So definitely a good strategy there if you're concerned about going off course or your goal taking longer than maybe you'd hoped.
Brilliant. Fantastic stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do at this stage, let me just remind you guys of what the contact details are for the studio. So for those of you that are just tuning in, you're tuned into Sister to Sister Talks, and we're talking about goal setting for the future. We're giving you some really good nuggets here about how you can actually set goals for a good, bright future. So the radio station is Ramadan Radio Wolves, and you're listening to 87.9 FM, and the telephone studio number is 01902 972 150. We'll encourage you to talk. We always want to talk.
That's it, ringing.
That's right. WhatsApp text is 07440 420 432. So that's 07440 420 432. Okay, so Shan, we've talked a lot about actually like the specifics around the goal setting. So for you, I know that at the start of the pandemic, one of your big main goals was to write a book.
It was.
And she's done that.
I have.
So let me just plug it. It's called Imani's Diary, and it's by Chantel Hall-Reid, and I am so proud of her.
Oh, thank you.
So you had that goal that you wanted to write a book. So just share with us, because it's a massive goal.
It is.
So how did you make it like smart?
So just kind of to go back a step, the goal was to leave a legacy.
Okay.
And what derived from that was wanting to write the book.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but in part and parcel it is, it was a massive goal. So, what did I do? I just got lots of paper, wrote down all my ideas.
Like she does.
Like I do. Yeah, I wrote down all my ideas, and then I decided to develop a plan.
Okay.
Plan of action, really. So, the book was the end goal.
Let me just stop you here. Remember I said to you, get a pen and paper. You need to get a pen and paper because what we're telling you here, it's some real crucial stuff. So if you've got a pen and paper, please write down what we've been telling you.
Yeah.
It's free. You're getting this for free. You pay for this. You pay for this information.
That's right.
Go on, carry on, Shan.
Yeah, so coming back to the book then, so I mind mapped all my ideas. So the book itself would be the end result. So I looked at all the things that I would need to get to that point. So the story, essentially, developing characters, book cover, a publisher, cost, loads of different
Did you just
things.
write all this down at this
Just wrote it
stage?
all down,
Just
because obviously
all
I've
off
never
your
wrote
head?
a book before, so it was just anything that came to mind at that point. And then I thought to myself, okay, so I've got all these ideas, and they're quite broad. You've got writing the book all the way through to getting on Amazon, publishing, all those types of different things. So I set about making a smart goal.
Okay.
And I just thought I'd share it with you, because this is the first step that actually helped me to start the writing process. So we spoke about our goals being smart, specific, measurable, etc., and needing to be manufacturable. And like Dionne said, being able to explain it to a youngster who'd be able to
know if you've achieved it.
yeah, perfect. Okay, so this is what I wrote. I am the author of a women's fictional novel. The novel is written specifically to target female readers. It reflects the shared experiences of being a woman of colour in society and the protagonist's personal growth. The novel explores the teenage experiences of girls of colour growing up during the 90s and details some of the carry-ons that are typical of teenagers. It is set locally with settings, themes and characters and names that the readers will be able to identify with. The reader will be taken on an emotional journey exploring life through the eyes of a teenage girl who kept a daily account of her life for 2 years. Humour and reminiscent memories are all conjured as the readers are reminded of fashion, trends and popular cultures of the time. The entries are written in an informal, unbothered, familiar diary entry account where the character speaks her mind and her thoughts in her own diary accounts.
Right.
So it was very specific in terms of everything that needed to get done. So I'll leave it there for now.
For now. Welcome back to Sister Talks. For those who have just joined us, and also as well if you were with us before the break, then you are through to Ramadan Radio Wolves, 87.9 FM. And our telephone studio number is 01902 972 150. That's 01902 972 150, and the WhatsApp text is 0440 420 432. That's 07440 420 432. And you're here with Chantel. I'm Dionne, and Chantel is with us also. And we are talking about goal setting for the future and just how important it is to be able to really grasp the concept of goal setting and how you can make really good, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and relevant, timely goals.
Yeah.
So just before we broke off, Chantel, I asked you about your big goal about writing a book, and you were sharing with us what the goal looked like, how you'd written it down. And what I've noticed when you was reading it to us, we won't repeat it again, guys, but we do hope that those of you that were tuned in before the radio actually got it. But it was fantastic. So what I gathered from that when I heard you reading it, I found that you were actually saying it as though it's something in the future, like you've written it like it's already happened. Yeah,
definitely. I did. So I wrote it as though I was already a published author. Again, helps with visualization and affirmations and just believing in yourself that it's going to happen. So rather than saying I'm going to do this, that and the other, it's I am a published author, I am a homeowner, I am the whatever it is, you know. Speaking about it as though it's happened gives you that sense of belief, and the more you see it, the more it becomes your reality. So yeah, that was something that was done consciously.
Yeah, and we've talked about we've talked about all this before. We've talked about the strength of visualizing things. We've talked about the strength of actually like saying that you feeling like you've already achieved something. So I hope that you all can see how it all follows through and what the connection is.
Yeah.
Okay, so part and parcel of setting those goals is about actually identifying what obstacles that might occur once you've set that SMART goal. So you need to identify the obstacles, and a good thing to ask yourself is, what can stop me reaching my goal?
Yeah.
So once you've identified what those things are, you make a list of all the things that could possibly stop you from achieving your goal. It could be lack of skill, it could be costs, like money, it could be time. What other things?
Yeah, so in terms of my book, I had things like, what if the publishing company went into administration?
Oh, that's a good one.
The cost implications that you mentioned, the time, waiting for feedback from readers as well. So you just list all the possible obstacles, challenges, things that could go wrong with you getting to this end result.
And what do you think the benefit of that was?
Because for everything that you then list, that then becomes part of your plan.
That's
to eliminate
right,
it.
yeah.
So you have the obstacles and challenges, and you think, okay, if that happens, I need a plan for that. If that happens, I need a plan for that.
So again, you're setting up even more little mini goals, aren't you, to
That's
that big,
it.
massive goal at the end.
And you keep going back. Any possible obstacles? Okay, well, if you've never written a book before, maybe you need to do a bit more reading. Maybe you need to do some more writing. Maybe you need to take up a writing course. So then again, they then get built into your plan. Okay.
That's brilliant. So I mean, and then I suppose the key thing is once you've actually identified those goals, those obstacles and that, and you've set those little mini goals.
Yeah.
Consistency, isn't it?
Definitely.
Working it all the time, every day, being consistent about it.
Oh, definitely.
And that is what will actually help you to grow your goals, and
even if it's if it's just like 10 minutes a day, if it's like a fitness goal, for example, and you've not done any fitness for a while, like me, it's rather than saying I'm going to go and run around the block, it's not going to happen. Maybe it's just like, I'm going to do something on the stairs, or run around my garden first, or walk maybe. So just start small and then build yourself up. You haven't got to kind of go crazy to start with if it's something that's new to you.
Yeah, and I think that is it, isn't it? It's more about you being consistent with something than setting something really, really big that you're not going to achieve, and then actually you've only done it once for that week, and
That's right.
you can't even get back into it again for next week. So then the goal's gone to the wayside.
That's it. Definitely. It's true.
Okay, so that's brilliant. Thanks for sharing that with us,
No
Chantel.
problem.
Let me just say it again. It's Imani's diary, and it's by Chantel Hall-Reid. Okay, so, right, sister to sister. As I said, we're all about goal setting. We're all about empowering the girls that we work with to be the best version of themselves. So, sister to sister, for those of you that might have just for the first time tuned in, this is week 3 that we've been presenting on this radio now. We have told you a little bit about us, but just to let you know, just in case you haven't, but with Sister to Sister, we're a social enterprise, a not-for-profit company, and we work with ethnic minority girls between the age of 13 to 21, and we help them basically equip them with the skills that they need to be the best version of themselves and recognize their abilities.
We do, and we've got 2 main programs that we deliver. One is in the school and the community, looking at confidence, self-esteem, resilience, growth, and helping the girls to have a voice and succeed. And then we also have a Big Sister mentoring program where the girls have one-to-one sessions with us and our team to develop any of their goals, any of their personal skills or behaviours that they want to improve upon. Yeah.
Thanks for that. So, and goal setting is an important part of that, isn't it?
It is.
So, important an element of the work that we do in the community and in the education settings, as well as on our Big Sister, our one-to-one mentoring program, is about goal setting. So, goal setting, it's important to have an accountability partner, and in a sense, sister to sister acts as that accountability partner for our girls. So, when we're on the education program or the community program, part and parcel of the way in which we do this, we act as an accountability partner, is the fact that we'll run the goal setting session. We'll work with them to identify what their goals are. So we take them through the SMART goals, just like we've done with you today. And then as accountability partners, we'll check in with them. We'll also put them into partners with others within their school or within that group, so that they've got that regular check-in and someone that can kind of hold them to account for the goals that they've made. And what we also do is we'll check in with the teachers or the community worker just to see how the girls are getting on. So in the Big Sister program, how do we do it in the Big Sister program?
So with the Big Sister program, this is a program that's one-to-one with a young person between the age of 13 and 21. So initially we'll have a conversation with them about what it is that they want to get from the mentoring. That essentially is the goal. It might be they want to improve their confidence, their self-esteem. They might want some strategies on how to make more friends at school. They might have, they might be doing really well. They might be predicted good grades at GCSE, but they want some support in terms of how they can exceed the predicted grades. So that's the goal. And then over the period of time, we look at an action plan to help them with the particular area that they've come to us with. So we set actionable things that they can do each week, that we check in with them that they've done. Does anything need revising? Do they need to adapt or change? And is it something that's going to help them to get to the end result of what they want? So if it's if they want to improve their GCSE grade, for example, it's about helping them with the timetable. It's about making sure they're aware of revision classes, support classes, looking at their learning style, making sure that the way that they are revising is linked to the way that they like to learn. Because sometimes their teachers or parents or whatever have told them to read a book, go and read the book. When actually that child prefers to is a visual learner. So it's about, okay, let's look at YouTube videos, let's look at pictorial revision techniques as well. So it's just making sure we've got a plan for that young person, irrespective of what their goal is, that suits them to achieve their end goal.
And in terms of how receptive the girls are to that, do they, how receptive are they with the goal setting? Because it must be something really different for them to have having goals set out and having someone checking in with them all the time.
Love it. They absolutely love it. I think it's because they know that their parents have invested in them. You know, our Big Sister program, parents invest in their children. They believe in their children as well. So there's that element of, you know, really feeling appreciated and supported that their parents have, you know, taken the time out to actually let them have a mentor. But also as well, that structure, knowing that with people who are rooting for them, who do this in their personal lives as well, you know, so we don't just tell girls about things that we've got, you know, no knowledge on. This is what we do and have been doing for years. So it comes naturally to us, and instilling these behaviours and characteristics within the girls, you know, they start beaming. They'll send us text messages, you know, oh, I've done this particular thing, I've tried this, it's worked really well, and thank you. So they really like that. It's you know, it's not overly structured, and we're not like, you know, regimented. It's hints, tips and strategies that,
and that's what I was going to say there. I was going to say that if they don't achieve, or you know, what they've set out for like the next week or what have you, then it isn't
fine.
like it's
right. Not like school. It's perfectly fine. Things happen. They might try something and it didn't work. They come back and they let us know, and we review it. We change it if needs be. So we're really flexible on the Big Sister program. And
I suppose as well with the goal setting, you know, we're getting them into the we're getting them into used to actually like doing this as a regular thing, so that when they are older, they're using that, aren't they? Well, they will use it. We're setting them up for the future, so that when they do have these like big things that they want to do, well, big, small, however, whatever it is, that they've got a structure in how to advance that, and then by doing that, the likelihood is that they'll achieve it. So they'll start applying this to every aspect of their lives.
Yeah, and you know, just to kind of add on to that, you know, goal setting can be and should be used for all aspects. So whether it's their school, whether it's you know, getting their first part-time job, perhaps maybe it's their confidence, self-esteem. You know, you can goal set for absolutely anything, and it just then helps them to grow, and that's what Sister to Sister is all about: personal growth, and allowing these young people to see that they can be anything they want to be if they then use the tools and techniques that we support them with to flourish.
That's right, yeah. And I know that we're talking about the girls on our program, but goal setting is for adults as well. So the theories and things that we've been saying and we've been talking about today, you know, you can use those to put into anything that you know you want to do as an adult, whether that's your career, whether that might be something in the home, even if it's some piece of like DIY, like you need to paint the fence this summer. Okay, then, so you're going to paint the fence. So what do you need to paint that fence? What colour are you going to paint that fence? When are you going to do it by? Yeah. Who do you need to include to do that as well? Because part and parcel of the goal setting is thinking about who you need to involve in doing it.
Definitely.
So when you're thinking about your objectives and all, you know, so what might be barriers to you achieving the goal, think about who you need to call upon to be able to achieve those goals as well. So, for example, if you know, as a student, you might say that you want to achieve a certain grade, then you know, obviously your teacher is going to be involved in that. So you might need to approach your teacher to be able to have that conversation. I know that is one of the tasks that I've set my mentee for our next session, because she wanted to be able to speak to her teacher to be able to say, well, she needs to know what she needs to do to get to that next stage, and if that's going to involve any additional work, they're going to refer her to recommend any extracurricular activities or any particular books or what have you to enable her to get to that. So her teacher is somebody that she needs to draw in to be able to help her achieve her goal. They also say that when you're thinking about that person who's going to help you, what is in it for them?
Definitely.
So what value are they going to get out of that?
And that's massive, really. And I think, you know, whenever you're setting a goal, if it is that you're going to draw on support from others, don't just take, okay? You know, try and think about what you can then give to that person. So in terms of when I was thinking about my book, for example, I thought of people that might assist me, the publishing house. So what was in it for them? Well, it's another accolade for them. It's more exposure for that organisation. You know, so it's really important to make sure that the people you bring along the journey, you can add value to them as well. It's not just about me. It's actually, okay, I want to achieve this particular thing. Who can help me? What can I offer them? Have I got a skill or a service that they would benefit from? It might just be, a thank you, a gratitude as well, as like we spoke about in the first session. So really make a list of the people that can help you, and then how you can then help them because they've helped you.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So what kind of strategies and things can we use to make sure that we're going to stick to our goals?
Okay.
I think a key one is, well, the first one is writing it down.
Definitely.
So anyone that you speak to that is a goal setting guru will say to you, you have to write down your goals. There is no point having a goal that you're just speaking about. Like, you're just speaking about it, and because you need to write it down so it's tangible, so you can see it. They do say that when you write things down, that's what gives it its conviction. So and people fear writing things down. Like even myself, for example, like I might have something in my mind and I think, oh God, once I write this down, it's like I'm going to have to commit myself to it. Well, yes, Dionne, you are going to, and that is what should happen. So people do fear writing things down because it just adds that level of commitment. But that's what you should do. If you really feel so strongly about the goal that you're putting into place that you want to achieve, then get a pen and paper and write that down.
And just to take that up a notch, write it down and then have that somewhere that you will see all the time. So don't just write on a piece of paper and have it tucked away in a book that's on your shelf. Write it down, maybe save it as a screensaver on your phone.
Yeah, we encourage the girls to do that, don't we? Put it as a screensaver.
Put it on your mirror in your bedroom, perhaps just somewhere that you subconsciously are going to see this all the time. You might not even read it when it's placed in the position, but by just kind of glancing at it every now and then, it will start to become part of your, part of your kind of mindset.
And they do say that people who write down their goals, that they're 42% more likely to achieve them. And then than the ones who don't write, than the ones that don't write it down. And they also then say that if you tell a friend, then that increases this rate to like 78%.
That's massive.
So that's where the accountability comes into it.
Massive.
Now, Chantel and I and our other business partner, we have our goals, and we tell each other all the time. And we do it so that we have that accountability, so that there's somebody there to basically like put each other on the right track and just do the general check-in, just to see how they're getting along, and to praise them as well, and to encourage them as they're going along, and checking in on that measurability factor to see how close they are against where we're looking to go.
And just on top of that, if when you are seeking out an accountability partner, we spoke about this last week, it's about making sure it's the right type of people. Sometimes someone will say, yeah, I'll be an accountability partner, and they're not very effective in keeping you to account. So it needs to be someone who's actually, also vested and of a similar kind of passion in terms of getting things done. You don't want to have a partner who's not really checking in on you, because that's not going to give you any encouragement. It's not about giving you motivation, because you can't get that from somebody else.
No.
But it's about the encouragement. And if they're not that encouraging, you need to maybe consider an alternative accountability.
I mean, that's a really good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
And it links in again, doesn't it, really, with having the right people around you. They're going to, when you start getting comfortable with talking about, your end goals and where you want to be and how you want to develop as an individual, you will notice people that are either in your tribe or not in your tribe, and people that you might have thought might have been in your corner, that they're actually not. That you've got your goal or your dream, and people don't actually see it. And that's absolutely fine, because as we said earlier, your goal is for you, it's not somebody else's. And your goal is such that you believe in it. So it's about finding the right people that are going to stand in your corner and encourage you.
Definitely. And once you start goal setting and planning and having a purposeful life, you'll start to gravitate towards people who have got similar
That is so true.
similar kind of concepts and how they want to live their life as well. Because sometimes, you're so focused on having a better life, doing your goal setting, and some friends, family members even might not really get why you're so driven by doing these things. Like, why are you goal setting, Dionne? Why are you doing this? Like, just go to work and look after the kids. And
you've got enough.
yeah,
Do
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's fine. They can have that opinion, but you just be mindful that not everyone will see it in the way that you will. But the results and the success and the achievement, intrinsically, it doesn't have to be anything showy. Just how you will feel when you get to that place where you've met your goals, you're exceeding your goals, you're doing things that you want to do. It won't bother you that your friends and family may not have bought into what you wanted to do.
Yeah,
don't worry.
And when you start actually seeing those goals, you start putting the ticks against them, and you're seeing yourself like working towards closer and closer. It's just so rewarding. It really is. It's massive. So let me just repeat again for you, just in case you want to text in or ask Chantel and I a question, or even just telephone the studio. You're listening to Chantel and Dionne from Sister to Sister. This show is Sister to Sister Talks, and it's all about goal setting for the future. The radio station is Ramadan Radio Wolves, and that's 87.9 FM. Telephone number is 01902 972 150. That's 01902 972 150. And if you want to text in, you don't want to talk, but you want to text, that's fine. That number is 07440420432, and that's a WhatsApp text. So that's 07440420432. So thank you very much for that. So we've been on the show now, Shan, this is our third week, isn't it?
Yes.
Just 1 week left.
1 week left, the finale.
Wow, it's gone so quick.
It really has.
So, what kind of things we've been talking about, just to give a recap. So, week 1, we just told you a flavour about Sister to Sister. Mm-hmm. We talked about what we do with our girls, how we started, what was the driver behind us setting up a social enterprise.
Yeah.
And then last week, we talked about the power of mentoring.
Again, how we use that with our girls in schools and on our Big Sister program. And also we gave some strategies, some hints and tips how that can be used in adulthood as well. So everything that we do is can be replicated. We teach it to the girls because we live by that same principle as well. And it's something that we're constantly reading upon, evaluating. We're quite reflective people as well, so we'll share ideas and adapt our approaches with things as well.
And that's a good point, really, because it shows like we're 3 times double the ages of the girls that we work with, and we're teaching them the things that we're still doing now. Yeah. So it just shows how much it just follows through life. All that's going to happen is we're going to just be adding to our principles. So just before we wrap up then, it will just, if you're interested in any of the work that Sister to Sister does, whether it be the one-to-one mentoring or the empowerment programs within your community, within your school settings, then please contact us. Do you want to tell us the contact details?
Yeah, so you can head straight over to our website. It's sistertosister.org.uk. And you can also send us an email at inquiries@sistertosister.org.uk. And we're also on Instagram at sistertosister.org1. We're on all social media platforms, so Sister to Sister, and we'll leave it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you.